Interest rates are falling and more homes are for sale. Dan Brown is a realtor with FC Tucker and is here with your monthly real estate rundown. You just got the data from August and those interest rates, even more updates with them right now.
Yeah, that's the dynamic right now, and everybody's been waiting for the interest rates to fall. Remember, interest rates really peaked hard last year at almost 8%.
Yeah.
So a lot of people just tapped out of the market, and that was intentional. But you know, we're on the other side of the mountain, so to speak, and so we've been coming back down. Everybody's been expecting and anticipating those rate decreases. We're seeing those. We saw them all through the summer. They were kind of modest. August, actually, the rates were pretty flat, but even in the last 2 weeks, they've started to trend back down. If people are actually watching the numbers, they're getting close to 6,
wow.
And I've seen some quotes under 6 in the 5. So when that happens, that's the lowest rate we've seen in over a year and a half. And when we get into the 5s, that'll be the lowest rate in 2 years.
Wow. And what does it mean when it comes to prices? What are we seeing as those rates drop and people are getting into the market?
Yeah, well, you know, that's the other side of the rainbow, because we have so many people looking for homes that when it becomes more affordable through a rate reduction, they're willing to pay more. So the prices tend to rise, and that's exactly what happened in August. August is usually one of our slower months in the summer. I mean, people are going back to school, taking that last vacation. It's kind of a dead month in real estate, not totally dead. But so the story there is really what didn't happen. Prices didn't fall. Actually, they ticked up. We hit a record high prices in June, so we didn't hit that again. But we were still over $300,000 for the average house in in central Indiana, rather, and in the metro counties, it's closer to 340.
Yeah, you think about that time period. It's when most people want to be in their house because the kids are headed to school. With that inventory, there were more houses on the market?
Substantially more. In fact, we haven't seen this many houses for sale.
Knock on wood.
Or glass. Since 2019. It's been that long since we have almost 6,000 houses for sale in central Indiana right now. And that sounds like, well, comparatively on an even market, that it should be about 10,000. We're not there yet. But during the pandemic, we were under 2,000. So it's 3 times what we saw 3 years ago. And that's a lot more for people to look for and it gives them a little bit more time and selection.
That had been such an issue for so long. But I think the focus is back to those interest rates. You have some interesting advice for people, because when you look at what an interest rate might drop and how it impacts that price, what is that?
Well, yeah, it's affordability. You know, there's always a trade-off on rates versus the price, and if the rates come down, the price goes up. That's just a market. People need to realize, and the quick math is simply this: you can wait too long and not do yourself any good. We buy houses based on what the payment is. A 0.5% drop in the interest rates is equivalent at a normal house to about $10,000 in price. So if you're waiting for that drop and the price goes up $10,000, you haven't gained anything. So you really need to sit down with your realtor and a lender and do some price comparisons and really do some planning on what's important to you. You know, a market is made up of 1,000 little decisions. Your decision, my decision, to make a house purchase or sell. And so you need to make that decision. Now that we have this dynamic time where interest rates are fluctuating, you really need to think about shopping for the best rate, because they won't all fall at the same time. It's not just one rate. It's depending on the house and your credit rating and the lender. Lenders will drop their rates at different times by different amounts. And so during the fall, and then I think in the spring, there's going to be some changes, and I think it's important to shop those rates.
All right, so be smart, be your own advocate.
Be your own advocate.
Dan Brown, thank you so much. We appreciate it. We will see you next month for our next real estate rundown.